thoughts on my mind, I can't sleep at night, so I just keep writing. I don't need no help, I don't need opinions, so don't waste my time then. Killing the game and I gotta go ask anybody, they all heard about it. They know when the kid and he's spitting it, know when he getting it, bit and I get in my way. Got this, I like do whatever I say, cause I could go put you on blast. People been mad at me cause I don't follow them back. I'm laughing cause that is so whack. Why they all trying to act like they been bossing when really their boss has been bossing them up? Nobody ever been telling me what I would do when I keep in the cash, for the shit out of luck. I want it more, now I get what I wish. Upgrading now with some pants that I whip. Making 6 figures, don't talk about it. Money ain't shit, it's about how you think. Tired of people who making excuses, then they complain about losing. Tell me about what you been doing, tell me about how you been moving. You ain't got nothing to prove then. I did it all on my own, they looking like all of my clones. I don't be following trends, fuck all the popular clothes. You faking and everyone knows. I just be keeping it real, they thinking that I have to go sign a deal, but really the people just found an appeal. I'm in my own lane and I'm steering the wheel, ayy. It's funny how it goes, funny how it goes. Working every night till the sunrise.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for Season 5, Episode 7. And finally, he gets his shot on the show. I'm talking about none other than XCW's star of the show, and one of the few people in XCW history to hold a win over Chris Jones that Chris Jones has never beaten, none other than Mr. Patrick O'Reilly. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing fantastic.
Good. We're going to get right into it, and I want to hear Patrick O'Reilly's opinion on what is the current state of the XCW product.
From what I've been watching,
wrestling, being involved in, like atmosphere in the locker room, how do you think it's going currently?
Actually doing pretty good, I think.
What do you think some positives are currently going for the XCW product?
We're having more product going out. There's ideas that I hear that's Fletch has ideas of making more product.
Yeah, we recently, as of today, yesterday, we're recording this one day after Viewers' Choice Awards. We recently shot Viewers' Choice Awards at your house.
Yeah.
XCW product also has shows like ACT's The Rundown. I believe, I'm sure Fletch will correct me in the commercial break if I'm wrong, I believe there's 4 Ground Zeroes next year going out, with one of them being named after an AVW show. And yeah, you're right, XCW products going strong currently. We are going into the 2022 season. And what does the horizon look like for Patrick O'Reilly going into the 2022 season? What do you hope to accomplish at least next year?
Getting gold.
Getting gold. What kind of gold? You want you want to be a Grand Slam champion? I was the first, by the way, Genocide.
I want the main gold.
Main gold. Currently, as of recording this, is Jesse Justice.
Yes.
Do you think Patrick O'Reilly can get through the mind games of Jesse Justice if he maintains the championship, and for some reason you guys cross paths? Do you think he can make it through the Jesse Justice mind game, so to speak?
If I can go through the beating that I did with Tommy the Man Merriman at Halloween Harvest, I can go through anything.
Potentially. All right, so on to the next question. Who are some of the most helpful people that have helped you during your time in XCW, whether it be mic skills, training skills, character skills, whatever it may be?
I actually have a couple people. I mean, I have the long-running XCW wrestler. He's not with us no more, but I had Hazard training me.
Hazard's really good. Hazard's also the one that initially trained me back in 97 or 8 whenever I started wrestling with him.
But I had Hazard, I had you, I had Fletch, I had Corey Lee, I had Venom. They all basically trained me.
Venom's a different answer. We don't get many Venoms for having a positive aspect. And
there's certain ones that they give me advice. Some people, then I got other people, they want to basically bad me on what I did wrong.
Yeah.
But they don't want to explain
We'll get into that later on.
Fix it.
Yep. So we're going into a little bit of a heater question here. Someone that I have been involved with throughout my XCW career, whether it be the high time of the Untouchables or the dominancy of EBW, is none other than James Cerebral. You have an intertwining, I don't want to call it a relationship because it makes it like you're in a relationship, James Cerebral. You have an intertwining story with James Cerebral, as in you and James Cerebral, essentially, to kind of short-term the story, you guys kind of swap significant others, so to speak.
Yes.
Does that make it awkward at any time when you guys are potentially working in the ring or hanging out? As James Cerebral, for the viewers that don't know, James Cerebral is dating your biological kid's mother.
Yes.
And you are dating Mindy for the XCW alumni, Jugs, the old referee, and / interviewer. You are dating her.
Yes.
Or married to her, whatever the situation is with both relationships. But does that make it awkward at all?
No.
No awkwardness whatsoever.
No, it don't make it awkward because me and Jugs, we was actually friends before.
I like that you called her Jugs. Continue.
But yeah, we was friends before we even started dating.
Yeah.
And then we just clicked and we're like, fuck it, let's try to give it a try.
If you can't, well, it was a saying, if you can't duck it, fuck it. So, I'm going to lose my train of thought, but we'll come back to that. What's your favorite match in XCW? It doesn't necessarily have to be a Patrick O'Reilly match. Just overall, what is your favorite match? Whether you partook in it or you just love watching it, what's your favorite match of all time?
Watching wise, it's always you.
You don't have a particular match in general, or is it just anything Chris Jones?
When you do your basically everything go match, because you're one of the ones that inspire me. Because every time you're in that ring, you give them everything that you have. You don't leave nothing out. And that's in the parking lot brawl with Tommy Mirren. That's what I did. Took whatever I seen everybody else do and gave it my all, and hopefully it's
And it was one of the nominees for Match of the Year this year.
Yeah, and so everyone's saying it's probably the best match that I've had so far. So
I
think
of
I'm just going to keep that momentum going and try and give my best.
Yeah, I believe that's probably the best Patrick match, and I've been hitting the head a lot, so it's hard to remember certain matches over the years. But there's like 2 or 3 Patrick matches that really stand out. Now the 3 that one stands out over the other 2. What's the worst weapon shot Patrick O'Reilly's ever taken in XCW?
I'd say the glass over the head.
The picture frame?
Yep.
Yeah. We don't do that very often. We don't work with glass very often, so to speak. So I can see where that would be a potential worst weapon shot. You being a person who's taking the picture frame, I've taken a picture frame, I think Hazard and Jesse. If anybody else has taken one, it's escaping me, but I don't think, we just don't work with glass very commonly because over the years, as XCW's progressed through the years, Fletch has tried to kind of stray away from the Extreme Championship Wrestling moniker and go to the Explosive Championship Wrestling. So when we do something along the lines of a picture frame or a weed eater or a parking lot brawl or something like that, it makes the magnitude of that particular match mean that much more, which makes sense. Here's a good one I'm interested to know. Anyone in XCW hate or dislike? Because I know somebody outside XCW that you hate. So we're going to go with just in XCW.
In XCW?
Hate or dislike. If you don't hate somebody, maybe dislike, because hate's a strong word to some people.
That's in XCW currently.
It could be anybody that's wrestled in XCW, or it's been a part of it.
It's not really somebody, it's just the things people do. They act like hey, I understand that, but give me tips. Don't just say, hey, I'm better than wrestler than you.
Or if, they wanted to talk about something you did wrong, explain why it was wrong and why you should try to do something. That could be Patrick O'Reilly's salvation, as I'm assuming. I know who you're talking about. As we continue along, here's a question I'm interested in knowing. Kean. I like to poke fun at Kean a lot, especially the time at the gas station where I made fun of him for not winning state. But outside that, obviously, no false finish is not necessarily kayfabe. So, Kean obviously plays the character Miano Diaz. How does it feel to see Kean in the ring succeeding as he has? Because Kean's not perfect. There has been some things that we have talked to Kean about and stuff that Kean needs to work on. He's still new. But how does it feel when you get to hear people express their enjoyment or admiration for how well and how quickly he was able to adjust from being just a ref to being able to do everything he has done in the ring so far? Currently is a champion.
I was actually proud of him to become a champion. But he does a phenomenal job in the ring.
I agree.
I'm excited to see where his career goes. As anybody else, as a parent, that's,
You want to see your kids succeed.
Oh yeah, I want him to do. We are both in the same business. We are probably later down the road when we consider as opponents. But
speaking of that, say Patrick Riley doesn't get his world championship match next year. What if the highlight of the year was father? Obviously, we can't do father versus son in XCW because obviously Miano Diaz plays a Hispanic character and you are not a Hispanic character. So, but outside we will know it's father versus son. What if the biggest thing Patrick does next year is father versus son, outside wrestling? We'll know that. But Patrick O'Reilly and Miano Diaz with some type of championship on the line, how would you want that to end? And what would your enjoyment level be for something like that?
Of course, always as a fighting champion.
Yep.
I would like to be the champion.
Yeah.
I like to beat him. But overall, that I've also learned, the guys that's been in it longer, they might have to lose to make the new guy shine.
Mm-hmm. Harp to something real quick. There's a professional wrestler. Obviously, everybody knows who Xavier Woods is. Austin Creed on Up, Up, Down, Down, etc., etc. He said something that resonated with me a few weeks ago because I run XCW's Twitter and obviously have my own Twitter and stuff for my writing. He said something. Somebody asked him a question when he was being interviewed because he is a part of the G4 gaming thing. And they asked him what the best wrestling generation was. Do you know what his answer was?
No.
The current wrestling generation. Do you know why he said that? He said the current wrestling generation should always be the best generation because if not, that means the previous generation didn't do their job correctly. So if the next generation, after Xavier Woods and all the people that are currently, I would say around our age, currently haven't done their job right to push the next generation to be able to have that star power, that level of professionalism, that level of entertainment and excitement, then the previous generation didn't do their job. So I like that you mentioned that because I feel people like Fletch, myself, Genocide, even Tommy, that, obviously I don't wrestle, but that is, our types of job is to help get everybody to the next level so XCW can continue on to the next generation and the next generation. But one more question before we go to this commercial break. You and I have crossed paths once before. It's the only match I believe we have ever had.
Mm-hmm.
You were able to be victorious in that match, and I believe it involves something to do with the New Age title, like the winner of the match went on and got a New Age championship match. How does it feel, because this kind of harps back to what you just said, putting the other people over, how does it feel to be put over by someone the likes of a Chris Jones or a Fletch? Because I believe you went on to win that belt.
Ashley feels phenomenal. Beating, as you are, as XCW is one of the best.
XCW is the best backyard wrestling of all time.
Well, I'm saying as a wrestler.
Oh, yeah.
You're one of the best in XCW. So it felt amazing. So whatever I can do to get wins over the guys that's been here to show them that I belong in the ring,
Yeah.
I will do it.
All right. And with that, we're going to go to our first commercial break. More when we come back.
Unbreakable! All the scars and all the tears have made me stronger. And all the pain and all the fear has just pushed me harder. But I'm not looking back, because I've become unbreakable. I can feel myself coming alive, 'cause I will fight to overcome. Now that I am unbreakable. Every day I'm in a world that takes all of me, but I've been turning all my thoughts into the man you see. Who I've become, because I've become unbreakable. I can feel myself coming alive, 'cause I will fight to overcome. Now that I am unbreakable, I've become unbreakable. I can feel myself coming alive, 'cause I will fight to overcome. Now that I am unbreakable, I've become unbreakable. I can feel myself coming alive, 'cause I will fight. Now that I am unbreakable, will fight. Now that I am unbreakable.
Handshake. Good job, Patrick O'Reilly.
Right? That deserves.
Chris Jones with the early upper hand here. Has to be expected. Jesus. Patrick O'Reilly, just as I say it, first career, a big splash. Feet Chris Jones here, coming in for the snake eyes and nice clothesline. Oh my God! Illuminati. Nice move there by Chris Jones. Oh my God, a Rough Rider. Oh my God, a super kick. For another one. Come on! Come on, ref. He didn't say that.
The O'Reilly factor!
For the third time, that's got to be it. There you have it, guys. A new United States champion, Patrick O'Reilly.
And we're back from the first ever No False sneak peek. And something interesting is a lot of people, when it comes to wrestling, we usually have bad luck when girlfriends get involved in the show. And it's not always the case, it just happens. Sometimes, a particular person is more interested in wrestling than their significant other, and then personal lives, they end up breaking up for whatever reason. But it takes a lot for someone's significant other or family member to get involved in a wrestling show. And sometimes it's the different degrees of involvement varies. And we'll hark back to, we'll call them your family. You know I wrestled Jason Arcane for a while. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay. And I don't know if you guys had made the relationship swap at that point, but I do believe you had. But I did a spot with Jason Arcane to where he pulled a random fan. It just happened to be Chloe, your stepdaughter, or your dog, whatever.
Yeah.
The point is, one of your family members was involved in the show,
Uh-huh.
and Judge has been involved in the show. Keen's been involved in the show. And I say Chloe, by the way, because I'm a good guy. How does it feel to you? Like, what's your opinion of family or significant others being involved in the wrestling show?
I think it's actually a good idea. Depends on, what's going on between the few.
Yeah.
If someone wants to really get inside you,
I would prefer someone not to be inside me,
So-
but okay.
when they really want to get into your head.
Yes.
When they really want to get into your head, most men in the world hold his family close.
Yeah.
So if you really want to hit that man where it hurts,
We've done that a few times,
mess with his family, and then you're gonna get the best of that man because
And we did it with
Instead of fighting-
Tommy and Brandon.
instead of fighting for him, he's actually gonna fight for his family.
Yeah. And I took, over a 3-week period for your daughter, I think I took like 30 kendo stick shots, so she is welcome. But, she did give me a little Illuminati triangle, which I still have, next to my XCW trophy. So, independent show next year.
Uh-huh.
I randomly found this on Facebook a long time ago. You, alongside with Tommy the Man Merriman and JJ Kelty, are all advertised for the same independent show. How did that come about? Because I never knew you were looking to be in an independence promotion or anything like that.
JJ's been doing it for a while now.
Yeah.
So he was talking to Tommy about the show next year, and I've always said I've always wanted to know what it would be like to be in a different promotion.
Mm-hmm.
And next year, I finally get my shot.
Yeah.
Is it going to be my best? No one knows. I mean, I've never been really
In that situation.
in that spot.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that I go out there and do my best, and I don't choke, basically.
Yeah.
It is a different promoter, and probably a different environment.
Oh yeah, definitely a different environment.
But I just want to have something basically on my resume as I did
As I did that.
Yeah.
Harping, you just said that you wanted to see what it was like to wrestle in a different promotion. Obviously, XCW, we welcome people from all different backgrounds, race, and even promotions. Would Patrick O'Reilly ever wrestle for FWL or Untamed? In case you're not asking with Untamed, Untamed is essentially the old XAWA people. Deacon Storm, Trinity Parker, those people still wrestle there.
As the respect of XCW, if they gave me the permission,
You would.
I would. Not
Well-
full time. I wouldn't leave XCW
Yeah.
to go do it.
Currently,
But
FWL and
it-
Untamed wrestle on the ground.
Yeah.
So you'd wrestle on the ground?
Yes.
Okay. Who do you think is the best XCW wrestler of all time?
Of all time.
All time. 2003 to now. Obviously, you didn't wrestle back then, but I know you've seen old footage.
Yes. I'll have to say you.
That's one of the common answers. Who's the worst wrestler of all time?
The worst.
Yeah. I know there's a lot of people you don't know, but out of all the people that you can remember or know their names, who's the worst wrestler of all time?
Desmond Cross.
Desmond Cross. That might be a new answer. If that is not a new answer, we've only had it like once, so I can see why you would say that. Here's an interesting one. So, a while back, I kind of opened the door for XCW to. Obviously, they had worked slightly together before. I believe he was streaming XCW content, but I essentially broke the barrier for XCW to partner alongside the PMC network. Do you know what that is?
No, I did not.
It's Grady Beecham on Facebook. You know what that is?
Yes.
All right. You remember I was the first one to do an interview with Grady Beecham about XCW and stuff like that. You remember that?
Yep.
In that interview, I don't remember the exact wording of the question, but the wording of the question the question I believe was something along the lines of, who do I think was the worst wrestlers on the roster at that point? Do you remember what my answers were?
Yes.
What was my answers?
It was me and Benji.
Yes. What was your opinion of that interview? And what did you think of that question? And do you think I was wrong?
No, I do not. At that time, no, I do not think he was wrong. My opinion of that was, if he thinks I'm the worst wrestler, then what am I doing in XCW? And then I get discouraged, and when people talk about how I am,
Yeah.
I get discouraged, and I always talk about retiring, because people talking about me means I'm not good enough to be here. But then I talk to you and Fletch and other people, and y'all told me to take what people say and improve on it.
Yeah, and
It's
not like God, Patrick O'Reilly fucking sucks. Get him out of here, Jesus fucking Christ. That's not what my answer was, and I believe in the interview I elaborated on why. And obviously, I'm closer with Genocide than you because I've known Genocide longer. And even if I'm saying that particularly about Genocide, there's probably a reason for it. It's like I wasn't like, oh, Genocide's fucking terrible. He sucks. God, he's fat. But I believe I elaborated on the question, and we've talked since then. I explained why, and you've improved on that. You had your best match of all time this year, so obviously it helped with a little bit of motivation. But I agree. You can be truthful about something, about someone being the worst at the time. There was a potential. We all fucking sucked. Fletch sucked, I sucked, Tommy sucked, Cynical sucked, Hazard sucked. We all fucking sucked at one point in time. But, you provide, me and Fletch do our job by providing the advice people like you need, Brogan needs, Brady needs, Evan needs, to get you guys to that next level. And as we just said, you just had your best match of all time this year with Tommy in that match. So, do you prefer wrestling as a tag team or singles? Because Patrick O'Reilly has had a history of both. You've wrestled as a tag team partner with Brady. You wrestled as a tag team partner with Genocide, the self-proclaimed tag team specialist. But you've had success as a singles person too. You've won multiple championships. You beat Fletch in 16 seconds. You beat me and went on to win the New Age Championship, I do believe. And I've never beat you. So, do you prefer the tag team wrestling or do you prefer the singles wrestling?
I prefer the single.
Why is that?
To me, it gives me more, as being by myself, it gives me more time in the ring to improve on what I need to.
Yeah. And obviously, tag team, you're tagging in and out, so yeah.
So, yep, with a tag team, I'll do either, but I just like independence because it gives me more time to work on me in the ring.
Yeah, because, essentially the eyes are not on Patrick and Brady, Patrick and Genocide, the eyes are on the star of the show, Patrick O'Reilly. Being involved with Brady Branson, you were also involved with one other people. And I'm a unique person when it comes to wrestling. Obviously, me and Fletch, we love wrestling. It's been a part of our lives since we were born. We like some of the stuff the same, but we like different stuff too. I'm a fan of Jeff Buster. He is not, even though he plays Jeff Buster. I love entertaining segments, and I love high-flying and stuff like that. So the next question is about Jeff Buster. Being involved with Brady Branson, you guys had the manager of Jeff Buster. You actually, I believe, were involved with Jeff Buster before the tag team started, technically. And Jeff Buster just kind of came along with you when you started teaming with Brady. What was it like to be associated with Jeff Buster, and how hard was it not to break when he would talk? Because obviously Jeff Buster's a comedic style character.
I just had to keep my composure when he talks, and had to stay focused on what I had to do. But my time with Buster was entertaining.
Yeah, entertaining is a good word.
But in a good way.
Yes, it's a test of talent, so to speak, when you're in a promo with someone the likes of Jeff Buster or Joker or Grim Reaper or LOL, because like you never know what someone's gonna say. A lot of things happen backstage that not a lot of people know about, and I'll say this: there was one time I was cutting a promo, and I don't know why, but like I don't mess up very often on promos, and I forgot like the show name or the person in the match, and me, Tommy, Corey Lee, and Fletch just started dying because it was just that fucking funny. And we were backstage and we had 3 promos to cut. Each of us were cutting a promo. We couldn't fucking cut the promo because we were fucking dying. Then Corey Lee went to cut a promo. What was it about? Elimination Chain. His promo was about Elimination Chain. Mine was not. His promo was about Elimination Chain. So the whole time, you know, Tommy can be very comedic at times or whatever. So, you know, Tommy's pulling out the PDP character, as people that are friends with Tommy know about PDP. You know, he makes funny faces, stuff like that. Corey Lee has to keep turning his head, you know. The whole time I'm mooning Corey Lee, trying to make Corey Lee bust out laughing. We did the same thing with Tommy. So a lot of fun stuff gets to happen. But I've only had like one instance with Jeff Buster. And obviously Chris Jones is the one that portrays LOL. And one of the worst things Fletch hates of all time, there's a busted TV segment. And it is fucking hilarious. The show got rained out. It was before we had, you know, place to store the ring and mattresses and stuff like that. We got rained out, so like we just really wanted to do something. So Fletch, even though he hates it, it was his idea to hold a busted TV at his house. And it was fucking hilarious. It was Jeff Buster and LOL as the host of this busted TV. You gotta think, you know how funny Jeff Buster is.
Oh.
At LOL. And then you got likes of like Tommy Merriman making appearances. There was some KY Jelly. Handed Stevie Goebel adoption papers. It was the creme de la creme of spur of the moment comedic segments. Here's an interesting question. So, I have this rule when it comes to social media and stuff. To make your own timeline, your own feed, your own stories, like yours. Like if you don't want to see it, you know, if it's on Twitter, block and move on. Facebook, remove that person, move on. I have no problems with Hayden Vex. Mm-hmm. I like Hayden Vex. He's a good dude. I would consider us friends. Don't have him on my Facebook. I don't like to see negative shit all the time on Facebook. Mm-hmm. Patrick O'Reilly is the second under Hayden Vex of putting business out there on Facebook. And I understand your situation as my real mom. I understand, not your situation, I understand your kids' situation because my mom wasn't that great of a mom. Is there a particular reason Patrick O'Reilly puts that business out on Facebook? Is it attention seeking, as some people might think?
No, it's not.
Because I, tell you what I personally think, I think, obviously you're a better person than she is. So, what's the word I'm looking for? I wouldn't give credence to people of her level. But what is the reasoning for that?
Because there's people that I know on Facebook, that she knows on Facebook, and I know she will get the message.
Yeah.
Because I'm blocked from her Because
Yeah.
of her boyfriend.
Yeah.
So-
Which is James Cerebral.
Yes.
No awkwardness.
So, I can't talk to her.
Yeah.
I can't tell her how I feel. Or how the kids are feeling.
Yeah.
So when the kids are sad or hurt, want to know why mom's not around.
Yeah.
It gets me upset.
Yeah. And clearly, parents, are here to explain those types of situations. And clearly you do a good job.
Yeah. But, including you just now, I've been having a lot of people telling me just to let it ride out. The kids know who's there.
Yeah.
Don't try to not let it bother you, because all things it's going to do is let her down the road, probably get you in trouble.
Yeah, and it happens more so on Twitter than Facebook. I know a lot of people don't use Twitter anymore and stuff like that, but if somebody's a fan of something on Twitter, whether it be a sports team, video games, TV show, whatever it may be, if someone talks about, how much they like something, there's always 3 haters for every like. So those 3 people comment on that, oh, why do you like that? It fucking sucks, this and that, and then that person, it's like, this is why you're just giving more credence to the people that don't deserve any of Patrick O'Reilly's time. Obviously, like you just said, they know who's there. Patrick O'Reilly plays daddy to Jugs' kids. Jugs plays mom. That almost sounded a little weird for a second, but Jugs plays mommy to your kids. I mean, obviously, you guys do a good job. You have from what I hear, an excellent house out in the country.
Yep.
Viewer's Choice Awards was recorded there. It's big enough to fit a ring out here. So I commend you both for that. I was just curious because, I have a rule. Eventually, over time, I do remove those people off my friends list. It's nothing personal. Eventually, you get to the level of I just don't remove you because we're just that close. Sometimes Fletch posts crazy shit all the time, but we're brothers. And if Fletch likes the Colts, the Colts fuck up. Chris Jones is gonna hear about it all fucking Sunday. I'm an Eagles person. I commend everybody in your situation that handles it professionally as you guys do. You guys provide a home, you pay for everything. So she doesn't deserve Patrick O'Reilly's time. Does Patrick O'Reilly deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? Let's name some accolades for Patrick O'Reilly. Tag team champion. 2-time tag team champion, I do believe. New Age champion. International champion. Self-proclaimed star of the show. You've beaten the likes of Chris Jones. You've beaten the likes of Fletch. You've beaten the likes of Tommy the Man Merriman. You say your goal for 2022 is to win the XCW Championship Gold. So, with everything you've done in a short amount of time, because you haven't been here an extreme amount of time. XCW's been going since 2003. You've been here 5 years, so you've accomplished a lot. Maybe not as quickly as some people, but you've accomplished a lot. Does Patrick deserve to be in the Hall of Fame?
At this stage, no.
Why do you think so? Why do you think not at this stage?
Because I've only been here 5 years. And the people that has been in the Hall of Fame, they've done more than what I have.
Look at it like this, though. Let me ask you a question. Let me retort against you. So XCW started 2003, right? The first Hall of Fame inductees were me and Fletch. But the first Hall of Fame first Hall of Fame Viewers' Choice Awards, 2004. I started in XCW in 2004. April 16, 2004. Viewers' Choice Awards was obviously December. So, less than a year. But obviously I had some wrestling experience before then, so that plays a part. But elaborate more on your reasoning where you don't think you deserve it yet. What does Patrick O'Reilly have to do for himself to think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame?
Have more nominees of being the show of the year, or the superstar of the year.
Superstar of the year. Okay. Let me push back again on you. There's never been a Superstar of the Year that's won the award 3 times. Granted, Cynical screwed me in 2009. Let bygones be bygones. There's never been someone win 3 times, so you haven't won Superstar of the Year yet. So are you saying if Patrick O'Reilly wins Superstar of the Year 2 times, he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame? Because Jesse Justice, I don't believe is in the Hall of Fame. Is he in the Hall of Fame? Okay, Jesse Justice is in the Hall of Fame. I'm trying to think of somebody else. There are other people that have not won Superstar of the Year that are in Hall of Fame. Matt Chincho. Matt Chincho's in the Hall of Fame now, and he was never Superstar of the Year. So you think if you win it 2 times, that's your pinnacle peak, you deserve it then?
No.
What about, let me ask you another question real quick. What about like multiple matches of the year? You don't win Superstar of the Year ever, but Patrick O'Reilly has like a top tier running match for match of the year, each year.
That should, yeah. I believe that should give me the ground of being a nominee for Hall of Fame.
I'm just curious on different people's answers because when I got inducted alongside Fletch, I was obviously, I was surprised. Not because of my wrestling pedigree, but back then our fans were ruthless. Our fans fucking hated me. But somehow I still got in, so I'm just curious on your answer there. Who does Patrick O'Reilly want to face again? Or face that he hasn't faced? And after you answer this question, you will get the privilege to ask me a question.
Okay.
So who do you want to face that you haven't had the chance to, or that you would like to face again? And why?
As a current roster?
Anybody. Past, present. Doesn't matter who. You could face, you could give me someone you want to face again that you've already faced, or anybody from XCW you haven't had the chance to face ever. Yeah, you want to face. It's a lot of people.
There's actually 2 people I like. One, probably would never happen, because the person retired, is you.
Why is that?
Because people like you, Fletch, and Tommy, y'all bring out the best of me. Because I'm in the arena with the best, so I gotta bring out the best.
So the best of you is 16 seconds. It's a sexual joke. Continue.
But currently, that I haven't faced on top of my head, I mean, well, we have faced each other, but it wasn't long. One-on-one, I'll probably say Hayden Vex.
What's that? I mean, Hayden's an excellent superstar, so yeah, makes sense. The white.
Probably top of my head, he's really the only one that I can think of right now on top of my head that I haven't really
Oh, that you haven't had a chance to face.
faced
Okay.
one-on-one. I faced...
Miano Diaz.
See, I really don't want to face him if I don't have to.
Afraid you're gonna lose? Afraid son's gonna get one up an old dad?
Maybe, but you know what? He is younger than me.
He is. Let me know when you're ready to get those school wrestling hands, boy.
But Hayden Vex would be one of them.
Makes sense.
But I'll face anybody
Okay.
to climb that mountain and get to the top.
All right, we got a few questions left in the show, but before we get to those, you get the chance to ask me a question.
Why did you decide to leave XCW? If it's your life.
I said wrestling is my life. XCW is Fletch's life.
Okay.
There's a difference.
Why leave wrestling if it's your
A
life?
lot of people, they like to make the joke, they like to poke fun because I use Kobe Bryant as part of the reason. It's not the only reason. It's hard to explain, but we essentially can say a bad month of mental health, so to speak. You know, just depressed the month of January, and without talking to my friends and stuff like that. You know, obviously, you know, my body's been beat up plenty. Fletch's body's beat up plenty. I can't tell you there's a day that either him or me get out of bed and we just don't feel like our body's falling apart. I got up off the toilet the other day, and I thought my back went out. Like, that's how bad it can be at times, you know. When you have a match with Venom, like Full Metal Madness, and you can't wipe your own ass afterwards, and you have to get in the shower, it's pretty bad. Pretty bad. But we'll toll it up to just, you know, the body being beaten up over the years, and just a bad month of mental health, and, you know, Kobe factors into that in different ways than a lot of people can understand, but I'd say that's probably the bad month of mental health and physical health, so to speak. Because, like, there's going to come a time when Fletch is not actively wrestling. There's going to come a time when Tommy is not actively wrestling. There's going to come a time when Genocide's not actively wrestling. And then we got to look to people like Brady Bradenton, Brogan O'Shea, Patrick O'Reilly, Evan Phoenix. We got to look for pushing that next generation to be the us of their generation. If that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
All right. What does the future hold for Patrick O'Reilly? Whether it be plans you have in real life or XCW future?
I want to be the best parent as I can.
I think that's every parent's ultimate goal, yeah.
XCW is, like you were saying, I'll have to be a Grand Slam champion.
Grand Slam champion, yes. I was first ever Genocide. Continue.
But, yeah, that's my plan is to be one of them.
I mean, you're not far off. I mean, Grand Slam champions holding all active championships at one point. So, I mean, what do you need? You need the world title?
Yep.
And that's it, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, once you get the world title, Grand Slam champ. I was first ever, by the way. Benji. So, that's a good goal, you know, being the best dad you can be, being a Grand Slam champion. I was first, Benji. If somebody you know would like to be involved in XCW, whether it be a wrestler, a ref, camera person, picture taker, ring announcer, better locations, anything, how would you give somebody advice to try to get their foot in the door at XCW?
The same way as I was given. Contact Fletch, and then Fletch, you and that person will meet with Fletch. And
What about like, obviously the answer is Fletch is the one that will tell you yay or nay, but obviously you take him out of the picture. Like when you're here in XCW, like how should they go about themselves and like conduct their business?
show that they are reliable and they will do whatever they need to do to do what they want to do in XCW.
That is kind of the answer I was looking for. So, ladies and gentlemen, you heard from Patrick O'Reilly. We touched on many aspects. It's not awkward. We touched on Jugs being the ref. We touched on his favorites. We touched on his least favorites. We touched on the match he enjoyed. Once again, Patrick O'Reilly had his best match of his career, 2021, one of the Match of the Year nominees. His goals are Grand Slam champion. He wants that world title. And Miano Diaz, if you ever step up to the plate, Patrick O'Reilly will not hesitate to put you down, as he has said. You know, he's older, more wise. He'll put you in your place, so to speak. I want to thank you for joining us for episode 7 of No False Finish. When we come back, episode 8, we're going to have the Fletch back once again. And we're going to be shooting on a show that might surprise some people. We're going to be shooting on XCW's Fallen Earth. Join us next time.
Too many thoughts in my mind, I can't sleep at night, so I just keep writing. I don't need no help, I don't need opinions, so don't waste our time then. Killing the game and I gotta go ask anybody, they all heard about it. They know when the kid and he's spitting it, know when he getting it, better not get in my way. Got this, I like do whatever I say, cause I could go put you on blast. People been mad at me cause I don't follow them back. I'm laughing cause that is so whack. Why they all trying to act like they been bossing when really their bosses been bossing them up? Nobody ever been telling me what I would do when I keep in the cash, right the shit out of luck. Ayy. It's funny how it goes, funny how it goes. Talking about shit they don't even know. Why they tryna tell me about what I should do? They don't know about the shit I've been through. no, it ain't what it seems, it ain't what it seems. Been 4 years, I've been chasing dreams. This ain't overnight, this ain't overnight. Working every night till the sunrise.